Hey guys, Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. This is a very quick update video because something that I couldn't not talk about was announced today, something that made me and I know many other people extremely excited. I couldn't believe this news when I saw it. You've read the title of the video. Futurama's coming back, baby. HULU has signed a deal with Matt Groening and Futurama, and they're bringing the series back. And I couldn't be more excited because, you know, I grew up loving The Simpsons, and when Futurama first aired in Australia, I was absolutely addicted to it. I genuinely think it's one of the most creative shows, such a fantastic spoof of sci-fi and all of those science fiction tropes. It's such a great show, and you know, there's been a Futurama-sized hole in my life for a long time, and this is a show that has been cancelled and brought back so many times. I think, you know, it originally had that 4-season run in the late 90s into the early 2000s, if I recall correctly, and the finale was an episode called The Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings, and the thing with Futurama is they've essentially had, from memory, I think 3 or 4 season finales, like 3 or 4 final episodes, like episodes that were actually written to be the last episode of the series. And then they come back and they do another episode run because it's been cancelled so many times and brought back. And I think it's really interesting because shows like Futurama clearly have a cult following. They clearly have this huge fan base who loves the show, is obsessed with the show, watch it all the time, love it, memorize the quotes. Like, there's a huge dedicated and devoted fan base to Futurama. It might not be the highest rating show of all time, and I think that's why it kept struggling on normal network television. It's quite a niche show. It's for a specific demographic, but the thing is, now that the media has changed so much and how we consume television has changed so much, it totally opens the door for the show to come back on a streaming service, which is exactly what HULU is doing. I don't know what that means for Australia because we don't have HULU here. And, you know, I'm sure it will get released somewhere. Of course, you know, some Australian company is going to want to make money off this, and I'm sure HULU shows get released on some streaming service here. But it is really interesting because there's been a lot of returns and reboots of old shows and anniversary specials of old shows just coming back for event television on streaming services, and Futurama is definitely in that category. And it's different, I think, for streaming than it is for television, because if you're making something for television, you want it to rate because you're selling the ad space on air, whereas if you're commissioning something for a streaming service, it's a little bit different because you're not selling ad space on that show. What you're actually doing is you're having that show as a product on your service, hoping that the fans of that show all give you their $10 a month or $12 a month to watch that show. So I would be very surprised if it's not a week-to-week release as opposed to a dump release of everything on one day. I feel like it will be, and this does seem to be the smarter decision for streaming services now, every week there's a new episode. That means if there's 10 or 12 episodes, which is kind of standard now for any show, if there's 10 to 12 episodes, that means you can get someone into your service for about 3 months. So you can get 3 months worth of a subscription from them, and then ideally they stay subscribed after that. And I think that's a really good strategy that a lot of streaming services are using now, particularly Disney Plus, who have done it very well with the Marvel shows, with WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and they've also done it with Mandalorian. They're doing it now with Boba Fett. Episodes of How I Met Your Father, which I think actually is another HULU original. It might not be, I could be wrong on that, but they're coming out week to week, which is another similar thing. So again, I don't know how many episodes it is, but I'm so excited about this. Again, Futurama has gone away so many times and been brought back. Like I said, The Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings, classic episode, and each finale generally deals with Leela and Fry's kind of unknown, lingering relationship, and the end of that first finale did imply that there was a happy future between them, which is the ongoing will they or won't they of the series, even though it's not it is a big plot point of the series, but it's always kind of subsidiary to the comedy. And then they kind of, that what Futurama is so well known for is these heartfelt episodes, these really sensitive episodes that tug on your heartstrings, like Jurassic Bark, the dog dying. We all know that moment. Luck of the Fryrish with the clover and Fry's brother naming his son after him, in honor of him. Game of Tones, which is a later episode of one of the revival seasons where Fry gets to have a moment with his mother in the past. That's another heart-wrenching moment, and I really hope they focus on more of those. Not every episode has to be that, but they are well known for doing those moments. It was then revived for 4 kind of TV movies that were split into 4 episodes. So it was 16 episodes. There was Bender's Big Score, The Beast with a Billion Backs was one of them. Bender's Game, a parody of, the name was a parody of the book Ender's Game. And then Into the Wild Green Yonder was, again, the series finale, another series finale there. And then when it was renewed for another 1 or 2 seasons a while ago, and I'm not sure if that was a streaming service that did that, but it might have been, or it might have just been commercial. Maybe it was just commercial TV. Again, I'm not sure. I'm just doing this off the top of my head, so I haven't been able to research it much. A lot of this is just me being really excited about it. But then that came back, and that season ended with another Fry and Leela, Will They or Won't They? I believe, I can't remember the episode, but it was them reading... They were reading essentially a synopsis of what would happen in their lives, which ultimately ended up being happy and them getting together. And then I believe it was renewed again. And the next season finale, which I thought was a really great one, and it was a great one to go out on. But again, when you're writing shows that you don't know if they're coming back, I guess you're just always writing series finales for people to get a satisfying ending to a show. That one ended with Fry getting stuck in the time loop, I believe, and then him and Leela living a life together in suspended time, and then deciding that they would go back to the start and start all over again in a time loop. And the series kind of ended as a time loop kind of thing, going back to the beginning, which again was a fantastic ending. And that must have been, again, off the top of my head, I'd say that was 2014, 2015, which now is 7 or 8 years ago. And we're back. And it's so exciting. We get more episodes of this crazy, zany, hilarious show. I love it so much. Here's the kicker, though. Many of the original cast members are returning, which is, of course, a plus. But some of the worst news is John DiMaggio, the iconic voice of Bender, who again is an iconic voice actor generally. He was also Finn the dog in Adventure Time. He's had a bunch of voice acting roles over the years. I think he even pops up as a voice actor in Invincible, that Amazon Prime original cartoon. He's a fantastic voice actor. He's amazing. He's not coming back. And as far as I can tell, again, this is just a reaction. It's not too much of a researched video, so please don't quote me on this. But as far as I can tell, there's no information as to why that is. It seems as though he's disappointed that he's not, which makes me think that it's most likely a money negotiations thing, which is a shame because, yeah, I think that these voice actors who have iconic voices, Billy West, iconic voice. Fry's voice is iconic. Farnsworth, Zoidberg, iconic voices in those characters. Katie Siegel as Leela, again, iconic voice. They deserve to be paid really well. I do believe that people do deserve to be paid well for talent such as voice acting iconic characters. And that's why the voice actors of The Simpsons get paid lots and lots of money. That's why actors get paid lots and lots of money for their likeness, I can do this voice, so I should get paid a lot, and I agree with that. But it does feel like John DiMaggio doesn't think that the money he's been offered is worth it to him, which is a shame because I guess on the other side, to play the devil's advocate, I could say, well, he should understand that these characters are so iconic and he should just do it for the fans no matter what. But then I guess if I see it from his perspective, I completely understand him being like, well, no, I value my time and my labor and my work and my voice and my skills, so I want to be paid this much. And if you can't meet that amount, then I'm not going to do it. Even if, and yeah, that's disappointing the fans, and fans will be upset, but I totally respect his right to stand his ground. Though I am really upset about it and disappointed. I think Bender is such a, you know, he's such an incredible comedic force of that show. Bender is one of the best characters in the show. Well, they're all great. It's such an ensemble cast, but you know, Fry and Bender, it's hard to imagine Bender being voiced by someone else. It's hard to imagine that. I mean, I'm sure they'll find someone that does a good impression and I won't even notice, but I will be slightly sad about it. I really hope they can work things out with John DiMaggio. I really, I want him to be a part of it. I don't want them to change the voice actor, but I also understand probably where he's coming from. I'm sure more information about this will surface soon. Interestingly, and this is probably something that only I care about, I remember there's this voice actor, Joshua Seth, who was more an anime voice actor, and he was the voice of the character Tai from the Digimon anime back in the 90s. And he retired from voice acting, but then in the mid 2010s, so like 2013 to 2018 around, they started rebooting and doing sequels to those original characters from that anime. And he said, hey, I've retired from voice acting, but if they ask me to voice Tai, I will honor the legacy of that character and I will come back and voice Tai. And he did it. And I think, again, I'm sure he got paid well, but I doubt he got paid what he would have wanted to get paid, but he just felt an obligation to voice that character to honor the fans and to honor the legacy of that fandom. And I mean, you know, so I can see it on both sides. I wish John DiMaggio would be like, well, I'm going to do it for the fans. I'm sure he's a very wealthy person as it is, but again, like, it's his right to not do it. I really do hope he does though. But overall, I'm very, very excited about Futurama being back. I can't wait. I genuinely cannot wait to watch this new season, to see what they come up with. I really hope they come up with some really strong stuff. I'm sure they will. And I'm so, so excited about it. Let me know what you think. Comment, thumbs up. Please comment. It just helps the videos to spread and get out there and for people to see the channel and for the channel to grow. Check out all my other stuff. And yeah, I'll speak to you in a video soon. Good news, everyone.